All right, welcome to Lethality Items podcast.
Welcome.
Week... You want to say anything? No? Okay.
I just said welcome.
Well, all right, so this week we have our second of 3 preseason episodes where we're going to talk about some of the changes that have happened in preseason. Haymont's not here this week. He'll probably be back next week. Good luck on your test, Haymont.
Good luck on your test. We're rooting for you, probably. No, we are. Well, I am. I don't know about Anthony. Historically, rough as a friend, but we'll find out.
Could always use another engineer in my circle.
Why?
Why not? They solve problems.
Another person to approximate gravity is 10? Disgusting.
Oh, God. That sounds like an awful way to do things, but okay.
That's what engineers do.
On to League of Legends.
Yeah, okay, my bad. Oops.
We're going to start off with a breaking news story that has happened 2 days ago. Zion Spartan is back after a long hiatus from the game.
Wait, really? I didn't know that.
Zion Spartan is back after a long hiatus of the game after a tournament victory with CLG. He disappeared forever. Replaced him with this man named Darshan.
You're a bad...
What? What?
I don't... What are you talking about? What's happening?
Zion Spartan's back. What? Did you not know
Nothing.
Zion Spartan is a different person from Darshan?
Did he change his name again?
Yeah, he changed his name back.
Why? When? What?
Hang on, Matt, your camera's lagging. Can you just turn it on off real quick?
How's this?
Better.
All right. So, did he actually change his name back? I
Yes.
legit didn't hear about this. Why?
There's a link to it in the topic sheet.
Bold of you to assume I read that.
I don't know.
I skimmed it. No, I actually didn't notice that.
From he put out like a little video, and it seemed like he changed it back because the reasons he changed it before he doesn't totally agree with anymore. So. Like, he thought it was kind of immature, but at the same time, he now realizes it's kind of part of, like, the culture of games to have your own, like, random-ass name that has nothing to do with you.
Mm-hmm. I'm watching the video, yeah, but I can hear you.
So, I don't know, I like this name because it has a gigantic meme about a teacher attached to it, and...
Yeah, and he's still
great.
in high school. No, so...
That had to be one of the best things about early League was that like him and Pobe were still like in high school playing for the LCS. It was great. I loved it.
I like that the GGS video or the Golden Guardians video had the fucking teacher in it.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's a cut from the original. Even his teacher calls him Zion Spartan video.
It is.
But regardless, great addition. Loved it. Great. This is great marketing for Golden Guardians. They're really stepping it up. Not with
RIP
the roster
anyone who
so
bought
much.
a Darshan jersey to have like 2 days later.
Did they sell Darshan jerseys for him?
I don't know, but they showed a Zion. I fucking hope someone got destroyed like that. That's so sad. Press F.
Goodbye, Darshan.
Anyway.
Hello, Zion Spartan.
I didn't even.
Just gonna keep gambling in my chat the whole show.
Yeah, but I didn't even put in a.
You didn't put in money?
Yeah, oops. I'm not putting in any money, I'm putting in dongs. Ugh, fuck you. Okay, that's really good news. I'm happy to hear about it, and I wish I paid attention to that. I just started with map changes and worked my way down. I really did. I really
How
truly
did you miss
did not.
that?
That's a super good question. There's a big ass Reddit link at the top, and I just like not gonna look at the first 2 bullet points. I don't know what happened.
All right.
I can only apologize.
On to the real things that we're going to talk about. We got...
An empty can of soda falling over.
Unhealthy. We got a lot of map changes
Look at who's talking, first of all.
A lot of map changes that happened this preseason. We had some elemental drakes. We had some alcove changes on the either side of the rift. We have a couple of new bushes added. There's only 2 new bushes added. Not counting Ocean Drake. Then we had a bunch of changes to Herald as well. We had some lane XP changes, jungle spawn timers, jungle XP changes. lethality items, support items, AD carry items. I don't think there was any AP item changes at all. They've been trying to change them, and they said they'd change them during offseason, but they didn't. And we had basically 4 new champions come in this offseason, kind of counting Diana, because that change to her was actually kind of big. We got Senna, Aphelios, and Set. New champions added to this game. There's a new jungler coming next, but I'm not sure that's going to happen for at least 2 months.
Well, no, next is
Jungler.
No, next are the changes.
The Fiddlesticks?
It's Fiddle, then Volley, then the new jungler.
I thought they put out Volley further. I didn't see a concrete date on Volibear.
I didn't see a concrete date on Volley, but when I watched the video earlier today, I believe they said they're doing the VGUs, and then after the Fiddle and then Volley, then they're just focusing on new champions. But up next are
no,
the 2
they're doing
reworks.
another vote too.
But that's for the vote one comes out in 2021.
It's the
like
same.
the vote champion, the champion is released in 2021 but we vote on it this year.
It's the same thing with Fiddle and Volley, but I'm just.
But they're not coming out.
There's also a Wukong change that's on the PBE right now.
True, but next is Fiddle and Volley, then a new jungler, then the masked person.
All right, so let's get into our first topic of discussion: dragons.
Draconis is Anthony and I's favorite thing to flame junglers over not getting in the early to mid.
I don't care about your priorities.
No, fuck your Gromp, fuck your Raptors. Take the Drake at level 4, you coward, and don't pick a jungler that can't, or you will get flamed by one or both of us. You're welcome. So what do you think?
I've mostly liked the changes, but not because of the passive buffs that the Drakes give you, but because of the souls and the maps and the Elder change. That's basically what I like about them. The passives, to me, like, they feel weaker, and they should be because of the soul. But
yeah,
I feel like they're so much more situational than they were before, and it makes it so like prioritizing Drakes might actually be disadvantageous for my comp in a way. But
yeah, there are some comps where I've been jungling a lot lately, and I will feel like, oh, like if the last 2 Drakes are Infernal, then I really shouldn't be taking this early Drake. I should be waiting to get like 3 to 4 Infernals, because it would just be better. Like this comp would be really good with 4 Clouds, but like you can't know, so like it's kind of. But there are definitely games where I'm like, oh, I feel like I wish I missed the first 2 Drakes just so I could have gotten like even more out of this. But I agree. I still like to just, but that's so much of a gamble. I feel like you still have to just
that's why I would never do it, because you're not only competing for the Drakes, you're competing for the soul, and like
plus
is Infernal Soul worth 2 Infernal Drakes? Like,
yeah, and plus, if you drop the first 2, there's no guarantee you're just going to be able to like pick up the next 4, right?
Yeah,
like,
if you drop the first 2 Drakes, you're probably behind by a lot, or got a bunch of really bad steals.
Yeah.
And I think the soul's very important for the way that these Drakes work, because if you remove the soul, it would probably be advantageous to give the other team whatever the first Drake is if it's not like good for your comp. Yeah. Like if you don't have anyone who works well with Cloud Drake, which I think most teams should have at least 1 or 2 champions that do. Earth Drake, definitely there's many comps that would not have anyone that works with that. Ocean Drake, I feel less impactful with Ocean Drake in general. Like, I just never feel that it's happening. And then what's the last one? Infernal, Ocean, Cloud. Did I touch all of them?
You got all 4.
Okay. So it's.
I don't think you like explicitly mentioned Infernal, but it's just good to have extra AoE damage.
More. Well, yeah. There's never full tank comp. That's just idiotic. If you run a full tank comp, you've just.
At least your ADC or mid laner is going to benefit probably your jungler.
You should have at minimum 2 champions that benefit from that every single game reliably. Otherwise, your comp's awful.
Yeah.
No damage. So I wish they were more impactful, but they can't be, and I get it. And if you took out the soul, you would have it so that it was. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but soul's important, and it has a lot of cool effects. I honestly, Cloud Soul, don't really care that much. Just the reason it's important.
I like it sometimes. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's some champions where I really feel the
Yes, on a few champions it's good, but I feel like even less champions that's good on than others because mobility is so ubiquitous in League of Legends. Having more move speed is often just like.
Plus, it's just like, as somebody who's been playing a lot of jungle, the ability to just move around the map faster than the enemy jungler is just really good, right? Like, my ability to rotate more quickly with the Cloud Soul is just great.
Well, sure, but it doesn't really matter at that point. A lot of the
No,
time.
it doesn't matter for like ganks, but it matters for like I was top clearing the camps, and then there's a fight bot side, and then I can be there. Or oh no, they're doing, or like oh we have to like set up for this, or I just need to be in a different place. Like it just is helpful because like I feel like even as the jungler, unless I'm on like Sejuani, I'm not just like camping with the team mid to late game. I'm like still moving around the map a fair amount, trying to get vision, help the support secure vision of objectives, etc., etc. So it still feels impactful. Whereas like when I play AD carry, I don't give a shit about the movement speed because I'm usually just hitting the S key mid lane and waiting for the wave to come to me. So like I don't really need it, but like when you have to move around the map, it's great.
So I honestly think Mountain Drake is probably the weakest now. Like, I used to love Mountain Drake all the time because it just gave so much more objective control. But now it's about tank. And tanks are so bad in League of Legends. And having more resistances...
Currently, they suck ass.
Having more resistances doesn't really help. There's only one good tank, and it's Ornn. And sure, it's good on Ornn. But, like,
He's broken.
You have to build resistances to use the resistance bonus. So it's like...
And I'm not really stacking armor on a, like... Your marksman's not stacking armor. 80 characters are going to
get a GA... And maybe, what's it called?
Or a QSS.
Yeah, QSS. like that's it. Those are the only two items that have resistances that they build.
Your support's gonna like it because your supports, a lot of supports are
unless
gonna be
you have
building.
Soraka, Karma.
I mean, they get a little bit in there, right? But like not as much. But like your Thresh and Leonas are gonna like it. But like Senna doesn't give a shit. Your mid laner probably isn't getting much outside of Zhonya's, right? Or Banshees, like.
And especially
doesn't
the soul.
Fucking matter.
The soul is just a shield, and it definitely helps against poke comps, but it's not like I can spec towards it to counter a poke comp. I have to hope it happens.
Absolutely.
So it's like
you just have to like win a fucking die roll, basically.
Whereas Infernal, I'm just like, yes, every time. I want that.
Yeah, it's great. Everybody does. It's good for everyone to do. Even if you're on a tank, doing more damage is good. It just gives you an extra
damage instance. You just
and
get
it's not based
hit.
on... Is it? Yeah, and that's just good for everybody. Like, okay, like it's just good, right? Like everyone wants to do more damage. It doesn't hurt anyone to do more damage. It's just it's extremely useful. I do feel like I see Infernal a lot less than the other ones. I'm not kidding, right? Like I know it's probably random.
Oh, it's 100% random.
Yeah, but like I actually feel like if I play like 4 games, I feel like or not 4 games. If I feel like I play 10 games, I feel like it's like 4 clouds, like 3 oceans, 2 mountains, and an infernal. Like I literally every fucking game I get cloud or ocean, which is fine.
I get that feeling too. Actually, I was just thinking that when you said it, I'm like, I do kind of feel like I only get clouds and oceans, and I'm like, God damn it.
I know, right? Like when we play together, we only get clouds or oceans. Like we get infernals sometimes, and like I like feel like and then mountain feels like it's pretty up there. But like I feel like I actually get infernal way less, but it might just be like some stupid bias in my head because I'm an idiot or something. I don't know.
So what do you think about Ocean Soul? Like
I don't even know what it does off the top of my head.
It gives you
more health regen and mana
damage. Basically, you're in
it
combat.
Gives you what?
If you're like dealing damage, every so often it'll give you a burst of healing. So Olaf's meta right now.
Oh, I know.
So Olaf and Ocean Soul are really good.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary. He can just kind of plow at you and never die. You know the TFT Olafs you see with 2 rapid fire cannons and like
That's how I build Olaf. Anthony hates it. I'm out here with rapid fire cannons and a fucking Rabadon.
Thing at the moment in real League of Legends. Just
what RFC?
No, just Olaf carrying and running you down and destroying your entire team by himself.
I mean, honestly, outside of Olaf, it never feels all that impactful. I'm sure it's more impactful than
it's a percentage of your total, so it's more impactful on bruisers and tanks.
But again, it's something I don't notice because I don't like.
Yeah,
I'm paying attention to my health bar in a fight, but I'm not like,
you're never
okay,
gonna
I was
notice
at
if you
like
get bursted, or
what?
you don't get noticed if you run into a fight and get bursted out, or if you
But
run
even
into a
if I
fight and
don't get
survive.
bursted out, like I don't notice like the small changes because a lot of the character champions I play will have ways of gaining life anyway, so it's never clearly to me just like where there's a AD carry like throwing out heal or a redemption or something going on
Yeah,
that I'm never like this bit of HP was from Ocean Soul.
it's hard to
Like
notice a lot of those effects if you're not 1v1ing. And
it's true. I mean, like I find it really easy to notice Infernal because there's a different animation.
yeah, there's a giant explosion in front
And
of you.
then I noticed the mountain too because I just noticed that I start a fight with a big ass shield, right?
We play
Which is
Malphite and
fine.
have two.
Whoa, unlimited power! I don't give a shit. I don't play Malphite. I
I
wish
play
I
Malphite
did.
mid, apparently.
You did one time when they picked 5 ADs, but that's on them. Their ignorance. Anyway, but Ocean. I mean, I'll even notice. I guess like I notice Ocean and Cloud less. Just because
I don't notice Cloud at all, but I notice it when I look at Lux's ultimate.
Yeah, well, I notice it on my cooldowns. I don't notice it on like my move speed as much. Right?
Yeah,
like
because I don't know, move speed doesn't feel impactful ever almost. Unless
well,
I'm at 0 and then go to 100, I don't feel it.
Yeah, that's fair. I really like it on Kayn. I like going blue Kayn with the Cloud Soul, and then you just like Yumu's, Moby's, wall walk. What?
I'd walk away if I could.
Disgusting. And then you get your Mobies, your Yumu's going, your wall walk. Oh, you walk through the wall, you get the Cloud AoE, and you're going at 9 million miles an hour, and then you fucking pop an AD carry, and you're all like 30 seconds later, and it's balanced. It's a good game. That's fine, but most of the time I don't really notice it. What I notice way more are the actual map changes. They affect how I play the game way more than the Soul typically does. Like, if I just had the dragons, any of the 4 dragon souls on your typical Summoner's Rift, your unaltered Summoner's Rift, I wouldn't change how I play the game at all.
No, I'm still prioritizing dragons. I'm still going for the soul, no matter what soul it is, almost.
Yeah, but what I mean is, like, I'm never like, I have an Earth Soul, I gotta come through this angle, I gotta go around here, I got the Cloud, I gotta come through the back. I'm like, no, I just have the Soul, we're gonna team fight like we were team fighting before. What really changes how I play are the changes in the alcoves, the new bushes, the move speed. It really changes where I want to fight. Right, like how I want my comp to be interacting, or where I want to be going, where your words need to go, where you want to be fighting comps for some comps, and also just like where I feel like I can walk as a jungler, because all of a sudden, if there's an Infernal Drake, there are way less walls in the jungle. So if I'm going to steal the enemy blue buff, all of a sudden there's not like a block in vision where the walls were. Like, they can just see me. It makes invades riskier. Whereas mountain, it makes invades way safer. I put a ward down, I hide behind an alcove, I can pop somebody if I'm on Echo or Elise or somebody. And though the map changes change how I play way more. I feel like I need to be quadrupling my warding on ocean maps, because every goddamn bush that blocks vision totally, I'm just like, well, this is like...
I feel like ocean map actually makes it easier to ward, because you don't have to make decisions about whether you put this ward in a bush or not. Like,
no, but there are so many more bushes that I feel like every time I'm walking through the jungle, I need to be warding every bush, because someone's just going to be waiting there, or there's somebody in the 2 new fucking bushes at Drake. So I feel like I need 2 wards on Drake, 1 in the back of the pit, 1 in the river, right? Like, it feels to me like I need way more vision. Whereas in Infernal, I just like plop it in the center of the buff pit and I call it a day.
I feel like it actually makes people have to ward in the places that they should have been warding already.
Yeah, probably.
Like there's the intersection behind blue buff and the intersection in front of blue buff where where you have to put wards in, and like just put them there now. It's really easy. Infernal makes it a lot easier to
get away with like easy ass warding.
Buff steals and kind of lazy warding, but at the same time, I'm still trying to figure out where exactly the good ward spots are on Infernal map, because it's like, sure, you can just put it in the buff and kind of watch that area, but it's hard to cover the whole thing.
It's hard to cover the whole thing, but what I've noticed is like once the buff walls fall, people just run through there instead of instead of going from like the behind wolves around blue to Gromp, they just go behind wolves through blue to Gromp because it's faster. Right, or like down, and so like when
this is also a
find
blow.
It is. Well, it's less of a problem with blue, but even in red, it's like, okay, like, are you walking to the blast cone? Well, now you're just going to walk right through the straight line that they gave you at the red pit instead of all the way around it, right? So I've noticed that people just tend to move through there way more because you're basically cutting down on the avenues. You're like, it's way faster, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, but so I noticed that those work fine.
So,
I like the speed boost on Air Drake's maps,
so
but
useless.
it's super useless, but I like it. I mean, I like it as a jungler because I'm like, cool, I can get from my Krugs to my Raptors a little faster, and then I can gank mid, right? But like,
compared to the other three, it's just like, hey, you move faster, and I'm just like, but I can't go anywhere with this. I can just run around blue buff or red buff. That's it. That's all I got.
It's nice. It's nice if you're behind. I've noticed it's easier for me to get to the Drake to steal it if I like just spawn and I'm running.
It helps there, but it's not like a large distance. It only helps once you get to the
I'm not saying it's a huge help. It's like a small help, and it does make you go from Krugs to Raptors faster, from bot to mid a little faster. It's just like, it feels like it's just a buff to junglers, and it feels like it's just a buff to gank heavy junglers, so I can get from like one lane to the other a little quicker if I'm running, or like from my Krugs to mid a little bit quicker. It doesn't feel as impactful.
I had a mock-up of what I thought Cloud Drake should do before, and I said it should give you these little like speedways around the map in a circle, like all the way through, basically, where it would it would just be a circle that you move faster in this area, and it would path you through the back of your base ish area all the way around through I forget if it was Tribrush, like through the bottom side of Red Brush. I wish I prepared my little diagram I made, but it just seems like a better thing to make a little donut of wind so that you can rotate from objective to objective or tower to tower, and it makes sieging more interesting. It makes defending sieges more interesting if you can have that zone controlled. This just feels like so much less, like there's less interesting here. There's less difference.
It feels like I do agree with you. It's the least impactful in the way I play the game, right? Like
yeah, it doesn't change.
I'm even more cautious, like even on Ocean, which doesn't feel that big compared to new or fewer walls, right? Like Mountain feels like more impactful because it actually affects the chokes and how I'm fighting.
I feel so claustrophobic on Mountain.
Yeah, and sometimes I feel like I can get off like better invades because I can hide somewhere. I feel like I'm gonna get fucked if I'm walking the wrong way. Like you saw me get destroyed that one time by that assassin just standing in the little Krug. I just got like popped and I had no idea he was there, right? Whereas like on Ocean, like it doesn't feel like I'm like cut off. It's just like I need to be a little more cautious with vision, but even that feels like way more impactful than the move speed itself. But I actually quite like the map changes, though. It does. At first I hated it, but yeah.
I've gotten used to them a lot quicker than I really thought I would.
I didn't think it would take long to get used to. I thought it would have more of an impact on viable comp, right? Like I thought it would be way more
Ocean buffs Rengar, Infernal nerfs Rengar.
Yeah, kind of, right? Like but I did really think it would be like, well, you're gonna want like a super good like choke fight for Mountain, right? Or like a really good like jungle fighting comp for Mountain, because you're gonna have all these extra walls. But then I was like, but it ended up being so variable, you can't count on it, that it's just like kind of stupid to pick a comp around a specific Drake, because you're just
they're not gonna broadcast the Soul and Champs, like, which to be honest I don't think they should do, because I like having something to adapt to in the game. But if they don't do that, there's no way to plan around it. And if it's like it's an Earth Soul, everyone's gonna just kind of wait for the other team if they pick a tanky comp. It's just like I don't.
Oh, if they pick a tanky comp, it's like sick. I'll pick like Kai'Sa Vayne, right? Like it's like, oh, I'll pick like.
All right, so I don't think we really discussed this, but Elder Drake had a major change.
Yeah, the execute is crazy.
It used to just give you burn, but now it'll execute anyone below, I think, 20% health or 25% health. I'm not sure.
It's like around 20%, 25, but it's insane. Like, I used to be like, yeah, we'll get Elder Drake because it's up and it's good, better we have it. But now I'm like, no, we need to prio Elder Drake.
Like, if Elder Drake's up, fuck Baron. I'm gonna just kill you if you take Baron.
No, I'm going for the
Elder.
execute. I'm going for the execute because, like, you can buff these waves, but then I'm going to execute you in, like, a quarter of a second, especially if I'm playing an assassin or I have, like, a long-range
massive AoE comp, DOT comp.
Oh my god. Davidson's been playing a lot of Xerath. Dude, plant his Xerath far away and then have Elder Drake and just like, boom, execute, boom, execute, boom, execute, boom. Like, in the team fight, your like, long-range mages are cleaning shit up because people are getting destroyed. Your assassins are going crazy. Your AD carries that are critting for like 1k at that point in the game are actually just half HPing people.
Urgot loses his ultimate.
No, it's actually fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Like, it's totally, it feels so strong, and I am so much more inclined to fight over it than I'm like, I would literally trade Baron for Elder every time if I get Elder, because it feels like every time I get Elder, we team fight, we execute them because we have to do way less damage than they have to do, and then we win the game. Or we push super deep into their base because we can ace anyone, right? Like, you just, bam, they're dead as fuck. It's crazy. Especially, by the way, if you have an Infernal, and you just AoE, boom, AoE, boom, AoE, boom, AoE, boom.
It'll sometimes chain the AoEs
it does.
across people. It's insane.
I've seen, like, Luden's procs execute 3 people at once. Like, they just pop.
I've seen Aphelios just kill 3 people by auto attack.
Was that today? Was that today when I did? No, I didn't auto attack. I ulted. Anyway. What a balanced champion. We'll talk about that later.
He's later. That hell's later. So yeah, Drake's lots of changes, lots of more interesting changes. Drake's have become the like de facto objective of the game now, and to be honest, that's not a great thing. Do you want to talk about Herald now instead of
Herald is still too easy to take. Herald is a lot of what?
You think Herald's too easy to take?
Dude, I get like it's well, okay, listen, I play at an MMR with not the best players.
That's fine. But that's not what we're trying to.
Well, what I'm saying is I'm trying to contextualize my comment.
Okay.
Which was that to me Herald feels easy to take because basically
no one gives a shit?
No one gives a shit. Like, I just walk over, put down a pink word, cool, it's not worded, then I take it because
seconds.
For 30 seconds, but like nobody ever checks it, right? Like, the amount of, like, if I play 10 games, Herald's getting contested maybe 1 out of 10 games I play as jungle. And I'm not even,
and it spawns twice, by the way.
It spawns twice, and it's like, if you get the first one, the map pressure you get off of it makes getting the second one much easier, in my opinion.
I don't agree. I think that the map pressure that's generated by Herald, if you do not already have a lead, is very minimal. You can only take 2 plates off of a turret, so you have to get 3 plates off the turret in the first place, or be able to take off 3 plates after you use it.
It might just be the case that every time I jungle with you and we get Herald, we get 2 towers top because we're already winning, right?
Like we're already winning the fucking lane, or we're like, hey, let's go gank a lane and then use it.
Well, yeah, but, you know, that's fair. I mean, it feels less powerful than Drake's, and I'm happy to give up a Herald for a Drake basically anytime.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't like. Like, I want there to be a real choice.
Yeah, I
want
Herald to be
I would
more
like
impactful.
it to be like, I would like it to feel like I'm losing something. But now, even especially if it's first Herald, right? Like, if I'm like, oh, we lost the first one, that's fine. We get the Drake and we'll get the next one, like, whatever.
It's still 50-50 whether or not the other team even uses it well. Even if they even get a turret with it.
No, they almost never do.
Like, even in pro play, I'm watching people use Herald, and it's just like, they're using it strictly for plates, basically. And back when plates were a lot more valuable, I think they used to be 160 or something, and now they're 120. It used to be a pretty good investment, but now you only get like 240 gold for dropping Herald. It's not really worth it. Like,
it's also usually split between a jungler and a laner.
No, they normally donated it if they could.
In pro play, but not in solo queue. In solo queue, I see more people drop it, and then, like, if I'm dropping it mid, I'll usually see the enemy mid or my mid be with the jungler who's dropping it and push.
It should guarantee that it gives the gold to the person who dropped it when it slams, because it makes it so you have to stand there to get the gold, and that it feels like that's making it even weaker than it already is, and it's already pretty weak.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even hard to donate though. I donated you the gold one in one of the games today. The Echo game.
I'm not. It's very easy to donate. I just don't think it's necessary. I think you should be able to just give it to the person who drops it.
No, I disagree, because a lot of the times I pick it up as the jungler, but I want the laner to get the gold.
It's only 60 gold you're giving over.
No, if I go like far as fuck away, I'm not getting any.
No, I know. But like, you're only giving an extra 20. Yeah, you're only giving an extra 120 gold.
That's still like a pink ward, bro. Or like that's an item, and you don't have to stay the next wave and farm.
That's barely a fairy charm.
It's barely a fairy. Listen, you're right, but like it's better than nothing. Trying to be a good guy jungler to make up for the fact that I tax 2.5 of your waves every time I walk top.
I feel like they're really weak.
Smite your cannons.
What? I feel like they're really weak, and if you're not already ahead, you can't really use them effectively. Even if you get 2 of them, you can only get 1 turret with just the Herald damage.
Love it when I'm ahead though.
Oh, when you're ahead, like you can really use it. If you're
when I'm ahead,
objectives,
yeah, when I'm ahead, if I have the Drakes and I get a gank off or I kill the jungler, if I kill top or mid and I know the jungler's bot or I can kill the jungler 1v1, I'm going to Herald every time, because then I just run back the gank, kill somebody, we drop it, we get, like today we dropped it in that Echo game and we literally got 2 towers uncontested. We didn't die. We got the first tower, we got the second tower, we walked away. Like,
let's be real,
when
you're at the dude and then dropped it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why you run back the gank and then you just kill them, right? So like when you're ahead, I actually try to focus it more when I'm ahead, because I can get more out of it. Your stream, oh, it's back. Never mind, it lagged for me, but that's just me. I focus it way more when I'm ahead, because I can be like, okay, we'll just gank mid and get 2 towers mid, and now our mid laner can roam and we have all this pressure, like easy mode. But when I'm behind, I think you're right. It's like, cool, I spent 30 seconds to get like 3 plates, maybe.
Could have been ganking a lane or getting 3 camps in that time frame.
Yeah. I hate it when my top laners pick it up. Please stop. It's not for you.
I will take that if I want.
You're a mid laner now. You don't count.
That's fair.
You also, I trust you to not use it like a fucking absolute fool.
Oh my god, I love it when like a support will have it and they'll just walk mid and put it down, and I'm just like, why?
Immediately, and I'm like, there are 3 people mid, dog. That's a waste.
It's the worst thing when I walk up to drop it and the 3 people just come out like, oh wait, hey, we're having a party. What up? And I'm just like, hey, hold up. Just not here. What the hell?
Hey, what the hell was that? Yeah, you're right. I probably need some buffs, need some power put back in it.
As an ex-top laner, I know full well how quite isolated I am because there's no objectives. Alright.
You're never isolated when you play with me, because I'd rather gank for you even as a fucking top laner than any other fucking random.
Let's try to knock these 2 out together. Alcoves and bushes, 2 of the general map changes they've added to the game. There's 2 alcoves in the top and bottom of the map now. They've changed the walls, so you actually have a little thing you can go in and do some stuff with. And there are 2 new bushes on the map that are by blue buff, right, like in that little divot. Mm-hmm. If Drake's over here, there's the wall there, and then there's a little divot here on the wall.
If you go like up the ramp to blue side,
yes,
from river to blue side, the wall that separates you from the gromp now has right next to the blast cone an additional bush.
Yes, and that honestly is a really interesting bush because
love it.
It's
such a good place to ward now.
It's a great place to ward, and it's a good place for a pink ward because nobody ever checks that bush ever.
No, and it's really good for when you're losing a fight in river.
I honestly hate that it grows with Ocean Drake because it makes it so people will walk through that bush.
Yeah. I love the changes. I like the fighting that can happen in alcoves. I've actually noticed a good amount of like fights when I do play bot lane. The jungler ganks, you retreat to the alcove and there's a much tighter fight that's easier to turn. I like the shenanigans you can get up to hiding, because there's like the alcove that's curved and then there's like a tiny place to stand behind the dot wall where they can't see you to get a hook off or some engage off. And I do like that it just shakes up bot and top a little bit, gives you a new place to walk, to fight, a new place to think about. You can get a nasty TP flank off there if people aren't properly paying attention to it. And the blue side bushes, I just think are really nice. I just like having extra bushes, really. I sit in them a lot. And get a lot of free fucking kills as a jungler, because like you're playing Echo, you're playing Lee Sin, you're playing like Elise or some assassin like Elise or Echo or Kane. Someone walks up, you have somewhere to be standing really close to them, and you just fucking eviscerate them. Like, so, it's super fun.
I haven't seen a lot of like, I don't want to say like actual good uses of the Alcoves per se. Like, I haven't seen lots and lots of interesting ganks people can pull off through them. I've seen a couple. I've done a couple myself, but like there's a point at which it's like I could have done this with the other bushes. Like, it's not any different. I just went to the back of this instead. Like, I pulled off one really good gank where I was on Rek'Sai and I went all the way back into the little like divot alcove and I sat there for like 10 seconds and someone walked into the bush and I'm like, well, I walked backwards so my E would land underneath, or yeah, my E would land underneath him. Did that and I killed him. Just like, why would you walk there ever? Like, the wave was pushed up past the other bush and they just walked in there and I'm just like, guess this worked. Guess nobody warded here ever. So it just seems like, I don't know, like unproven is the only word I can think of, but like no one's shown me that they can be used effectively yet. I want to see more. I want to see what the pros are going to do with this. I want to see what interesting ganks they come up with, some interesting wards they put down. Is putting a pink ward in the back of that divot going to become a normal thing for everyone to do all the time? Like, that's my first thought when I saw that. I'm like, oh, you can just put a pink ward back here and have all the vision. But is that useful? Because you can see if they're teleporting there if you're close enough. If you couldn't see teleport, that would be great. It'd do that every time. You just teleport it and you gank them. That would be a brilliant gank. But can't, so that's weird. Now for the bushes, top lane's had that 3-bush system forever. So I haven't really noticed the bushes change anything.
The most effective thing I've really seen it used for bot lane is like, okay, maybe we're overextended. The jungler is coming in behind us and I can't run that way. Now it's a new avenue to kite a little bit further.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and that has been really helpful. I've been able to do a lot more damage when I'm on marksman or prolong fights a little bit. I have more places to run. Instead of just hitting a wall or running into the jungler, you have a place you can duck into, flash back over into the bush if they overcommand. And it has been, honestly, like, that's where it's felt most impactful is in ganks. Having an extra place to kite back to or to deal with.
I have my notes that, like, most people are using it to get extra time, like, or extra distance from people more than anything else. Like, it's just more land, more free real estate. So
but that real estate is not useless, right? Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's not useless. I want to see a lot of its strengths come to fruition.
I understand. Okay, role changes, right?
Role changes. Yeah. So in preseason, they made a lot of changes to. I don't want to say a lot. They made some changes to lane XP and jungle XP. Now, I don't know how much you've noticed these changes, but for me, the jungle and bot lane changes have actually been quite impactful in like the levels specifically, which is
when I get a head on jungle, it's over. Like, it's insane. We were playing that game today where I was on Olaf, and like the enemy Tryndamere jungle was just not very good. But like there was a point where I was just like 4 levels up on him, and there was no shot he could get back in the game because he just like I could just get the like I got a level lead, and you're able to snowball it so aggressively by just walking into their jungle, taking their camps. Because if you get the jungle XP lead, you can translate that into fights with the enemy jungler, invades much easier, and it just snowballs in an absolutely crazy way. It's so wild.
They removed catch-up XP, which is the big factor for.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's super insane. Like if you get a lead and you know even a little how to counter jungle, like you can just end the enemy jungler's game.
So, but you do have to really press your lead. You can't just let it slide and be at the same level, because they increased jungle camp spawns and they didn't decrease their XP by too much, I think. So it makes it so if you hyper farm, you can get back into the game, but it's also not as advantageous to hyper farm versus gank and farm. Like, I think the best champions right now are champions who have a good balance between gank power and farm power. That's why champions like Jarvan and Zac to me seem pretty strong.
Echo.
Olaf is very strong. Echo's very strong.
Yeah, all these champions have insane clear speeds, or really good clears, especially early, and have really good ganks and damage in the mid to late game, or tank in the mid to late game. And like those junglers, it feels like it's really hard to lose your lead on. Like you have to really fuck up.
Early full clear seems to be a pretty.
It's so easy.
It's not that it's easy. It's a growing it's the growing meta. Like,
well, you get so much, right? Like if you full clear, you're basically like almost 4-4.
I'm not just talking about full clearing. I'm talking about full clearing sub 330, sub 315.
And that's what I mean.
Right. So
that's what I've been doing. Like you go red, Krugs, Raptors, Wolves, Blue, Gromp, and then gank, and you're like level 4, and you have like a level lead on a lane. Yeah, basically.
Then you can gank or you can do scuttle depending on.
Or you can do scuttle if you're low, and you do scuttle, and then you're like 4.5. You walk top or mid, you have a fucking level lead on the mid solo laner, and you clap them. All right, it's or you go into the enemy jungler, and if the enemy jungle didn't do the same full clear, you have like a 1 level lead on them, and you clap them. Right.
So
it's super good.
It seems like jungle is getting decided early, and focusing on Drake also helps because being a higher level makes taking Drake easier. So
literally, I do most of our games together. Is I full clear, gank top or mid, recall, rush the Drake. I'm level 4. I take the Drake with 2 smites. It's mine. One clear, 1 recall. You can just take the Drake on spawn. And like that's insane.
I think most junglers can do Drake at level 3 with 2 pots and 2 smites, easy.
Yep.
I don't know.
Level 4 guaranteed.
Yeah, what level 4? Like it's not even a challenge. So the Drake priority is insane. Like junglers have a lot of there's a really high bar of skill that you need to do jungle right now, and you can't really be lazy about it. You can't just get to level 3 then gank like you used to. Like now you need to be able to hit level 4 before you
unless you're on like a crazy gank heavy champion.
Yeah, unless you're playing even Rek'Sai's a heavy farmer too.
Rek'Sai, I find that on Elise I like to get a gank in early at 3.
Elise would be a gank.
On Elise I would be less likely to full clear and more likely to like buff camp can't buff gank.
I would rather full clear one side, gank, full clear the other side.
Yeah. You know, it depends upon what the lanes are.
That's an old strategy.
Yeah. It depends upon like what the lane positions are. Like sometimes your bot lane's just shoving, and so it doesn't make sense to like full clear bot side and like
if you're gonna gank bot, you should do 2 camps, not 3.
Yeah. Like red Krugs gank, but like I don't know, it depends. But like there are some champions I'm a little more likely to do. Or even if I'm not more likely, I'll just be more willing to. Like even though Zac's full clear is super easy, if I'm like not quite finished full clearing, but I see like an easy E, I'll just take it, right? Like because it's so easy to go in and come back out. I tend to want to gank a little more on like Yi or Kha'Zix if I'm picking like that, just because like Kha'Zix, I just want to get kills all day.
Kha'Zix, I would mostly be trying to objective control. At least for me, that's how I play Kha'Zix. I don't try to gank.
I don't play a lot of Kha'Zix. Kayn, I tend to gank early.
I played a lot of him last year because I had the championship skin.
Oh, it's true. I tend to gank early a lot on Kayn just because I want to start snowballing red or blue form, whichever one I want to get. So like the sooner I can get to those orbs, the better.
Kayn has,
but his full clear, it's not even a problem because if you choose to full clear, you're still just fine. Right? Like,
yeah, the first
like it'll delay your first full clear is fine, but then after that, I'm tending to gank more than focus on farm, just because unless the enemy jungler is melee or range, depending upon what I want to transform it to. If they're melee and I want to be red, then I'll live in their jungle, farm their jungle, and fight them. If they're ranged, which is really rare, fight them there. But do you know if Elise changes orbs based on her form?
Yes.
Oh, nifty.
I'm pretty sure all form changers do that. All right. So, what have you noticed about the lane XP changes? Because I touched on a little bit where the bot lane seems to be lower level than they were before now. Like, it's a lot more common to see 3 level disparities on a single team, whereas like in the past it was like if there was a 1 or 2 level disparity, somebody was pretty behind in their lane or something, or somebody got really far ahead.
It would feel like early to mid 1 to 2 levels for bot lane was normal because of the shared XP. Unless your support was roaming a lot, then your AD would catch up, your marksman would catch up, but your bot laner, I guess, technical term, but just because we can, I don't know, whatever. I do notice it. I noticed that a lot of times, and one of the reasons I stopped playing marksman or bot lane so much was like, it would be like I was going even or slightly winning my lane, and then the enemy jungler was 3 levels up on me and could 2-shot me. Right? Like it's insane.
I've been noticing the jungle's actually below bot lane, even if they're doing if everything's even. The jungler feels like they're either even or below.
When I'm saying even, I'm not talking about team even. I'm talking about like bot lane even. So like if I'm level 4 and the enemy ADC is level 4, like our junglers are like level 6, right? And like that falls off in the mid game or like towards the end of laning phase. But early on, if a jungler knows how to gank bot, they're usually going to be a level or 2 up pretty early, and it just fucks you, and you feel like really unimpactful. And then that death turns into like a 2-level disadvantage in your lane basically, and you just die. Right, like I find that happens. I do find myself down in levels more generally, and then even if you want to replace like the down in levels to the jungler to the down in levels, like oh cool, like the enemy mid laner all of a sudden has a 3-level lead on the bot lane, and they're just gonna walk bot and 2-shot you with R when you're level 4, or like if you're level 6, they're level 9, and they're just destroying you. And it feels like now you don't just have to wait for items as a marksman to be impactful, but you also have to wait for like the levels to even out, which takes fucking forever. Which is unfortunate. But
I mean, as a solo laner, the XP differential is pretty good now. I feel like it's definitely helped Kale be a lot more relevant in the game, and Kassadin too, as I've been playing a lot of Kassadin. Because
I've noticed
they have crazy 16s, both of them. And a Kassadin versus Kale game is quite the game. Because dear Lord, do you have a timer that is going to make that game a show? Oh man.
Good or terrible, yeah.
Whoever hits 16 first better start focusing the other one and killing them on repeat. Otherwise, they're going to lose that game.
Yeah.
So, I like the disparity between roles now. It feels like each role has its own job that it's doing more uniquely. Whereas before it felt like everyone was just kind of playing to scale the game, and now there's a reason to put someone in a solo lane because you want them to gain levels faster. There's a reason to put someone in the bot lane because you want them to gain gold safely. And
the only issue I have with it is that in just like most games, your marksmen feel so useless unless they get a huge early lead, because like most solo queue games I see don't actually go to 40, right? So your marksman is... And like, yeah, we'll talk about it later. Like, yeah, Stormrazor's fucking overpowered, right? Like, there are some really busted ass crit builds.
Let's be honest.
It is just the slow, but it's also like Stormrazor triple crit cloak 100% crit at level 8 is really nuts on certain AD carries. But the levels sometimes feel like they matter more, or at least help, because I do still see, if not see more, like the 3-level up mid laner, enemy mid, so like the AD carry is level 6, the mid laner's enemy mid laner's level 9. Even if the AD carry is a kill lead, they're just getting eviscerated, right? And so like it feels like in solo queue, I actually, if I went bot and I wasn't with Doug, I would actually just want to pick mages, because I don't feel like I'm going to do anything useful on AD carries for like a super long time.
Just play Vigar bot over and over again.
Honestly, it's like literally if I go there and I'm not with Doug, I'm like, sick, let me play Syndra, or Doug or Davidson, right? Like, let me just play Syndra, and like I just power farm under tower, right? That's why I play a lot of Caitlyn. It's like, cool, like I'm just going to be behind everyone until I have 3 items and the levels even out, so I might as well just safe farm. Which is, to me, why the AD carries that are strong right now feel strong, except Aphelios. It's different animal. I'm talking here about like Senna, super fucking safe. Well, first of all, according to some websites, LLoLP, out of the top fucking 5 bot laners, 3 of them aren't even marksmen, right? It's MF, Senna, Cassio, Karthus, Yasuo,
Where's
right?
Karthus on there?
He's actually very good bot. I mean, he's got a really low pick rate, like really low, but like he's got a 0.05% pick rate. But I don't know. Like I feel like I just want to be on something super super safe and farm heavy, because it's just like otherwise I'm just gonna die to ganks 4-mans. Especially with dragons being so strong, I do feel like junglers are really focusing bot a lot more. Like old Drakes, I felt like sometimes we would get fucking partied on in the bot lane, but there were at least a few games where the jungler would be camping top or camping mid, and now it just feels like there's no reason to go anywhere but mid or bottom, like at all. Like, why would I ever gank top? I'm camping mid and I'm camping bot because that's where the Drakes are. Like, that's where all the good things are. I don't know. I'm rambling too much and not letting you talk.
All right, let's go on to the items. First up, we got lethality.
Okay, Stormrazer's
items.
broken.
No, we're talking about lethality items.
AD Assassins blow ass now. Don't play them. Are Anthony's
Why are you
notes?
reading my notes?
Because it was funny. I just remember. I'm not in the Google Doc. Am I in the Google Doc? No, I just remembered it because it was funny.
Honestly, Assassins.
Really I also don't want Assassins
now.
back, except Kayn. What?
Assassins feel like they suck now. Or like AD Assassins feel like they suck now. Like
AP Assassins are still really good. Echo.
Yeah. The only AD assassin that feels good to me at all is Rengar, and that's just because Rengar can kill one champion for free.
Are you talking about laners?
Huh? No, well, no.
I think Assassin Kayn is really good.
Yeah, but he's...
Well, I mean, like, okay, like every single assassin, if they pick 2 tanks, 2 bruisers, you're not gonna be having a good time on an assassin, right? But like, if they pick 3 squishies, AD Kayn feels insane. There are a lot of games where like my Kayn damage is just feels like exactly like my Echo damage, where like I'm in a bush 2 buttons later, like a U-moves instead of a proto belt, so like 3 buttons later, I've 100 to 0'd somebody and they haven't even touched me. They couldn't react. So like Kayn, if you can get the lead, feels nuts. Rengar feels really good because he's stupid.
Rengar's real good at turning off squishy champions.
Rengar's also really good at being able to jump outside of a bush when he walk out of the bush for like 3 minutes and just hold on to the lead.
That today. Oh my god,
dude, I hate it so much and I abuse it every time I pick Rengar.
So they added, or they split up. What was it? They called Nightblade or whatever. Duskblade. They split up Duskblade into 2 different items, basically.
Umbral and Duskblade.
So Umbral Glaive's the one with the wording, the wording.
The word, and Duskblade does the other part.
But it has the on hit, and they up the damage on Duskblade, so Duskblade is like the definitive assassin starting.
Yo,
item,
it does a lot of damage.
It's a lot of damage, but all the other assassin items.
It's one of the reasons Sen is insane.
You talking about Umbral Glaive?
No, I'm talking about AD Senna.
Duskblade? I don't know. I don't feel like lethality Senna is all that amazing without tier.
No, you go tier and then Duskblade, but you do a lot of damage. You also, well, on that build, you take Dark Harvest, and your ult gives you like insane Dark Harvest procs. Anyway, it's a whole thing. But I don't know. I do think Kayn feels really good, although Kayn is really feast or famine. Like if I don't get ahead on Kayn, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a long one, fellas. Like, strap in.
18-minute transformation. Let's go.
But not even that. Like, even if I'm like on pace for the transformation, but I'm just not getting kills or gold at a level that's okay, I'm like, if I went blue Kayn, I'm like, we're gonna be here for a while, boys. Like, it's rough. But Rengar is stupid, and Diana's an assassin, right? She's broken.
Yeah, but she's AP. She's broken. Echo's broken.
Yeah, I'm talking about AP assassins still seem good. LeBlanc doesn't seem that good.
She seems good if you're good at her. Otherwise, she seems really eh.
Yeah, but that's like numbers wise, she's not as good as like Diana. Like Echo can go like 2 rolls and pop off in either one.
You can go top lane too if you really want.
It's true, 3 rolls. Elise is pretty strong in the jungle right now. I'm not gonna lie to you.
But she's less of an assassin now. She does good burst, but like, if you have any sort of tank, she really can't kill you that much.
That's any assassin though.
Yeah, but it's a lot less for a lot.
I mean, except like Echo and Diana, because they're like way overtuned.
They
but,
do.
like,
well, Echo does percent of your health.
Yeah, and also Echo like has like a 30% fucking damage amp, like. Or like when you're below 30, he deals extra damage for no reason, and you just get popped. But like,
so what changes do you think we should bring to lethality items? Should we Be
Dude, I don't
buffing the
know.
lethality a little bit? Like that seems like the only
No,
option
because
to
I
me,
don't want to
adding
see
more
the
AD doesn't seem to help.
adding more AD won't help. But I don't think lethality items are weak because of like armor, right?
What do you mean not weak because of armor?
Or like what's lethality? It just gets rid of defensive stats, right?
It's a basically flat armor pen like it used to.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like I don't feel like lethality is weak because it's not enough pen. It just feels like I don't know what makes it feel weak. I don't.
It
Well,
just
to be
doesn't
in
do
my
as much
okay,
damage. It
listen.
doesn't get through targets as often.
Here's what I'll say, and why I think I'm struggling to answer this question. I don't play more than one AD assassin, and I don't play against many because they're so weak. Right? Like I just don't see. I used to see Talon all the time in solo queue. It has been forever since I've seen a Talon because he feels really weak. I don't see a lot of the champions I used to see that were AD assassins, so like I just kind of don't know how to answer it. Um, maybe adding lethality would help. I have no idea.
Because they took off a good bit of lethality on some of the items.
Get rid of the fucking
and they took off a lot of the move speed on the lethality, which is also a kind of a big hit to assassins. Because if you can't roam to catch people as often, it becomes a lot harder to do your job.
That's literally why Blue Cane feels insane still, is because I literally got from like my blue buff. So like if I'm bot side of the map, from like my Gromper blue buff to like a bot lane fight in like under 5 seconds. Like you have Cloud, you have Yumu's, Moby's wall walk. Like because if I'm Blue Cane, I max my wall walk second, and you just shoot across the map, and it's like, oh right, like this is a 3v3, a 4v4. Oh, all of a sudden there's an assassin on top of our AD carry. Where did that come from? Right? That feels why like Kane is good. That's also why Rengar feels good, because the ult with bush jumps, which are broken, you feel like you use your Yumus, you can get anywhere really quickly. Zed doesn't feel like that, right?
But yeah, I played a game of Zed where I was even doing pretty good, being able to kill most people in the game, and I'm still. It's like a 1 in 5 cast that I'm trying to fight, and I still have to struggle to chase her down.
Yeah,
and it's
like you can still kill the AD carry if you roam bot, but like you're not killing top lane, right? Like you're not killing your enemy mid, the jungler or anything. So I'm not really sure, but move speed makes sense.
So lethality items probably need a little bit of a buff if you want AD assassins to be good, but we don't want AD assassins to be good.
No, I don't want to.
All right, let's talk about support items.
More free stuff, baby. Give everything to supports for no gold. Let supports pay 450 gold at the start of the game for a full build.
The only reason
just all 4 items, max boots, fucking already fully charged, 4-stack fucking warding item, and 2 pink wards for 450 gold supports only. That's a deal. That's a deal.
The only reason I'm okay with this change is because it makes it so that I don't have to yell at my supports to upgrade their damn item.
Yeah, I know. I'm kidding. I actually think that's an incredible addition, and it also I like it because not only do you not have to yell at them to upgrade the item, as a support, you get a little more agency early game, because it's not like I have to buy this and then I have to buy a ruby crystal and combine them and I have to like rush into this. It's like I have to do. I go into an item. I go into like I first back Mobies, right? I first back like an ability to roam mid more effectively. I first back a defensive item if I'm fighting a lot in bot lane, and then I feel as the support way more impactful. Instead of having to spend $800 or 800 plus gold on a little bit of HP and the ability to ward, you do have to manage your quest. And I noticed that some supports are not the best at it. Certain items are still seem easier on average to charge than others, or to rush through. But if you can get into, like if you're on Targans or the Pauldrons one, you can get into a rhythm with melee cannon melee, then you can get through it in like 8-9 minutes. But you got to be like very focused.
It is a lot more important for the shields. Are they just both shields? I don't remember.
I don't know what the other one's called. I think one is called like Pauldrons when it's upgraded, but
I think that's the tank one. I don't remember. But the ones where you have to
execute that's the AD. Well, I don't remember.
The ones where you execute minions are very gated. If you do not do the quest, you will not get wards for 12 minutes plus. Like,
yeah, and that's bad.
it's a problem. Like, you really need to get on your item really fast. And I feel like they did that because they also made it viable for range champions. But
Yeah, which was a great buff to Thresh. It was Steel Shoulder Guards is the other one.
so that means the balance between these two items is quite different. It is a paltry like challenge to do the spell thief one. Like,
Or the Spectral one.
you get
the
it on your
Spectral
own
Sickle.
easily. I meant
Yeah,
it.
no,
I
no,
meant it in
you also-
general as like the spell
Yeah,
thief
but you
class.
also like Spectral Sickle is not. It's just like the AD version of Spell Thieves.
Yeah.
So like, if you're playing a champion that can poke, you get it in like 8 minutes.
Like, look at Senna. Senna stacks that thing's like nobody's business. He just keeps going.
And if you are on a execute one and you're not completely on top of your game, if you're not in the melee cannon, melee range, if your AD carry takes a couple too many CS, 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 13 minutes, if you're roaming a lot because you need to be, because you're like Thresh or Pike, jacks up the time, right? It goes way up. If you're Leona and you want to be mid or with your jungler, you're leaving money on the table and you're leaving vision on the table, which is really dangerous. But I don't know if they do, like you said, they feel kind of old, right? Like they feel it's like if I can take Spell Thieves or Spectral, like just do that. But on the champions, you take Steel Shoulder Guards or Relic Shield. It's like there's no way on earth I would take Spectral Sickle or whatever the fuck. What is it called?
Spell
I just
thieves.
totally
It's
blanked.
just
Spell Thieves.
They kept
I
spell
know.
thieves.
I know, and I just said it and forgot it. But I would not take Spectral Sickle or Spell Thieves on Leona ever in 100 million years. I wouldn't do it because it's just bad on the champion. It feels like. So then it's like, well, why am I playing like a tank support? But tank supports are good for other reasons. So I don't know. But
So they added regen back onto both of these sets. Onto the minion execute ones, they added health regen, and onto the spell activated ones, they added mana regen. I don't think this change was needed. A lot of people thought that these items were underpowered. The only change I think I would make is I would make it so that you can get the minion kill ones faster because they seem so much more gated. Now I get that if you made it faster,
everyone would take them.
It's not that. It's that if you made it too fast, it would be too easy to stack it, and it would become a problem. And it would be a better option in general. But it just feels so out of balance between the two different classes.
Well, the reason it feels out of balance to me is because it's like it's the minion execute ones are like decision based. The other ones aren't, right? Like it is you do not decide how much gold you make as karma throwing a Q. You just hit them and get it. Whereas like you decide what minion you hit, or this lane state decides what minions you're capable of executing, right? So executing only casters, you're not getting that for a long time. You're not getting those wards for a long time, which means you have to basically be only getting melees and cannons. But depending upon the lane state, if you're Pike against Lux Caitlyn, you're just not walking up, right? Because you walk up, Lux Bind, Caitlyn trap, you're dead, right? Like if you're Leona, maybe you're a little tankier, you can do that, but still really risky. So like that's where it feels different, right? Like if they made it so like you just last hit a minion and like you just get a flat amount of gold, fine. But that doesn't really make sense. Like then does that flat amount of gold go to your AD carry, or do they get the full gold? Because if it's less than the actual melee minion, then you're just taking gold from your AD carry, which is really bad, right? So like it's like what do you do? Because like that's why it feels so slow, is because it's the only one where you can use it suboptimally. The only way to suboptimally use Spectral Sickle or Spell Thieves is to just like AFK, right? But like just the nature of lane fighting and poking will grant them to you, you know.
I've had the idea that they should make it so the support items, like it takes more gold to get them done, but they also count assist gold.
Cucks Pike, because he doesn't get assists, he gets kills.
I mean, it should be done right around when you hit 6. Just saying. All right. Yeah, support items. They need a little evening out. All right. So let's talk about AD items.
Storm Razor boys. That slow is actually insane. Like this, what is the percent on the slow?
It's like 80% or something. It's obscene. It's like half second, 80% slow. So what they changed over preseason was I think they brought back Crit Cloak. They gave that 25%.
Crit Cloak was out of the game. Yeah.
They've removed Brawler's gloves, kicked it over to TFT. Now they can
RIP to the Brawler's gloves, gone but not forgotten.
And it gets you to have Crit Cloak in all of your Zeal items. So you have to buy Crit Cloak to upgrade it into Zeal, or you buy Crit Cloak to upgrade it into.
Okay, so the Storm Racer slows by 75% for 0.5 seconds.
It's tilting. It's tilting.
A 75% slow? That item is not that expensive, dude. It's 3,200 gold total.
And if you're not like Jinx, you build it first item.
Dude, I built it first on Jinx. I mean, I don't, but I would, right? Like,
it's not a bad option, but
no, it's not. And then, of course, the legendary build: Storm Razor, Crit Cloak. I'm level 9 and I can't not crit. I'm level 7 with a fucking 4 or 5 kills, a decent amount of farm, and every single one of my attacks is critting you for like an extra 100 damage.
I don't know why this item gives 25% crit, not
20. It's a lot. That extra 5% should be coming from the completed item. You don't lose anything. All you do is nerf that build, and it's dead. You gotta build a You nerf that build, and then you force people to like. So like, because Rapid Fire Cannon, like all the Zeal items, the Zeal gives 25% crit, the Cloak gives 25%, so you're not getting anything. So make the 25%, like give it 20, or like give it 15, make Zeal give it 20, and make the completed item give it 25. That way, there's like a clear progression from either 15 to 25 or 20 to 25 if you want to only have 2 steps. And that way, you don't have 100% crit without actually having to spend the reasonable amount of money.
It shouldn't be possible to fill your inventory with that much crit.
Late game, you should be able to.
Right. No, I mean like.
You mean like early game, like the fact that it's like. The fact that it's like 14 minutes and I've got 100% critical chance, and I'm Caitlyn, my headshot crits the enemy mid laner for half their HP, you're dead, right? Like before these changes, and before that, like when the Crit Cloak was in the game, before they took it out and then re-added it, I had I forget, some I think it was like Saber or somebody, some AD carry like high ranked AD carry released a sort of weird Caitlyn build that got you 100% quickly, and it was super good because you could abuse it, but she was the only one you could really do it on because she was the only one who would get both Zeal items. But now if I'm an AD carry that benefits from crit, why the fuck am I not building both Zeal items or both Courteous Shard, or all these Courteous Shard items, or a Phantom Dancer in there? Why am I not getting 100% crit just to do dumbass damage? Why, if I'm a Felios, why am I not getting 75 to 100% crit? So my flamethrower is super wide. So my fucking shurikens do a quarter of HP. That's what that does?
I didn't realize it made his flamethrower wider.
Yeah, when you crit on the flamethrower, it increases the width.
Right. Only on crit.
Yeah, but when you have 100% crit, it's insane. When you have 100% crit on a Felios and you're on your flamethrower, you clear a wave in 3 autos. Right?
Imagine the Vamp Scepter Q with 100% crit. It does double damage now. What?
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck?
If you flamethrower ult the enemy team and it bounces, and then you auto with your flamethrower, it does insane damage because it's just you have an you're just hitting everyone all the time. It's super broken.
I think the simple fix is do you know what the Crit Cloak costs right now?
800.
800. All right, knock it down 100 gold and then make it 20. That's it. That's all you do. Now you have to build how many of them? 5 of them, and you have to take up 5 inventory slots to do that. You can't even build another item like that.
No, so the reason that would be good though is because it would it's instead of just rushing cloaks of agility, you'd have to finish the zeal at
Yes.
least, or like so I agree with that.
And now we're in zeal stacking, and we're just playing Rammus and Dominion.
Yeah, but even if you like, I mean, that's why I was thinking like, don't even give the 25% to the zeal, give the 25% to the whole item, because then you're just like making it a little more expensive to just stack 25%, but still like doable, still benefits. Just make it 25% on the completed zeal items, 20% below it, because otherwise we just have AD carries at like 12 to 14 minutes, maybe sooner if they get ahead, just eviscerating mages, eviscerating poke supports, just popping people, dude. Plus, not only am I critting you 100% of the time, I'm slowing you for 75%.
Yeah, with Storm Razor.
With Storm Razor,
so I get 2 autos guaranteed.
It's really easy to energize it because I slow you, I walk, I auto, I walk, I auto, I walk, I auto. Everyone, like, it's gonna be procced a couple times in a fight, right? Like, you're getting slowed and crit every single like, you're not getting slowed every auto. You're getting slowed a lot, and you're getting crit every auto. That's crazy.
It's so much damage. I saw the change.
Honestly,
I saw the change to crit cloak, and I'm just like, I can just build 4 of those and have double damage now. Well, that's gonna be like a normal thing. And I'm
shocked it hasn't made Graves jungle better.
I'm not, because you can't build like that on junglers.
I know, but like, dude, crit Graves is crazy in duels.
Right, but the problem is you need your jungle item. You need pink wards. You need boots. That's 3
There
slots.
There are a few junglers where like you don't actually have to upgrade your item, but I know what you mean.
Right, but you still need the smite slot.
Yeah, I know. You're right.
Like it's impossible
yeah, no,
to do it.
That's true.
You can build crit on him.
Do
which
people
is
do
good,
it on GP?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I haven't seen. No one plays Gangplank. Been trying for months to play Rise into Gangplank over and over and over again. No one plays Gangplank.
I feel like 100% GP early would be fucking crazy, and your Q procking Storm Razor is stupid.
I don't know how the interaction works. I haven't looked at Gangplank since
We'll
those
practice
changes.
tool after this.
Hang on. Let me just look at Gangplank's builds right now. I don't think it's that crazy.
No, I just mean like the slow beat would be good because you can just run them down and auto them, right?
No, it's nowhere on here.
Damn.
It's all Trinity Force still because you get more. Trinity Force gives you 100% of your base AD as damage, straight up, which is the exact same thing as having 100% crit.
Mm-hmm.
So if you build this and then 100% crit, you're pretty good. Now I do think that is probably the build. You build Trinity Force into Essence Reaver into IE into PD or IE again.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't played GP in a while, and I'm just. It's hard to find builds for GP because GP he's got a lot of those weird breakpoints.
It's true.
All right.
You know who I'm well, never mind.
Okay. We'll move on to champions.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I was about to talk about a champion, so.
So we got 3 new champions that have just come out. One of them came out today, and I was playing a bit earlier on stream.
Set,
yeah. We have 2 that are a marksman / support, and basically just a marksman, but he's so
Senna and Aphelios, yeah.
And then we have.
I don't think he's that good mid.
A pretty good, pretty big champion change to Diana, with a change that everyone's been asking for like 5 years, and they finally put it through.
Yeah.
All right, so
still only a mid laner though. Doesn't look like she can jungle super well.
Want to do these in order?
In order we have them, or in order
in release order.
I don't know the release order. Was
They're
it Senna, Aphelios, Diana? Okay, yeah, sure. Senna, very fun. Their range is really tilting in bot lane. There are a lot of times where like it's just like playing. What?
Counters Heimer.
Caitlyn though.
As a support, though?
Not as a support, no. It is like playing against Caitlyn without Caitlyn being there. Or if Caitlyn is there, it's like playing against 2 Caitlyns, like a champion with so much range early on a lot of other marksmen and a lot of supports. It feels really oppressive. the range of her Q, the fact that she can Q through towers, the fact that it's so easy for her because of her range and her Q range and the ease of which she can hit a Q to collect souls. Her E is really fun. I haven't seen a lot of like plays like they showed in her release trailer where like you have the whole enemy team sneaking up through river and like there's a Malphite ult out of the mid. It just feels like, okay, like I'm gonna make sure my ADK doesn't die to this gank, right? Which is still really good.
I feel like that never happens without everyone reading it and like seeing it coming. Like you don't just 5-man gank one person and then be like, oh my god, I got Malphite ulted. Like no one's that surprised. Like, everyone's like, there's a bunch of people in that shroud. I'm about to get fucked.
Yeah. You know, I've seen myself and some other junglers occasionally utilize it to like get closer for like Drake steal. So like you're not getting bombed out damage wise when you're getting closer to it because they don't know where the jungler is. They only know where Senna is because she's always in the center of it.
And you can like ghost out of the side of it and still be untargetable, so they can only hit you with skill shots.
Yeah, and they also don't know who you are. So like they only see like, you know, I mean, they know who you are if everyone else is on map, right? But like, they see your model, right? Like they can throw something at you.
Grabby thing that's
they can Syndra like QE you, but they can't like click you. Right,
you're untargetable.
But she seems really good. Doug plays her to great effect. I enjoy playing her both as a marksman and as a support. Her roams are really good because she's got a pretty long range route that's pretty easy to hit.
Her ultimate is insane from cross map kills. It's better than any other cross map ult in the game, basically.
Because it basically procs immediately. There's way less prediction involved.
It takes less than 2 seconds for it to cross the whole rift.
Yeah, which is insane. Whereas like your Jinx ult, you have to like at least like do some fucking trigonometry.
You gotta tell the other guy where they are so they can CC.
You gotta be like pinging, like lead him here, dipshit. But like
sometimes you just chuck it. You just send that shit and just hope it hits. I love doing that on Ashe and shit. And then you see someone dies in the sidebar, and I'm just like, hang on, what? That happened?
Someone died to Krugs. But that's fun when you stun a low HP jungler and they die to a camp because you like cross map them, so it's like a 19-year stun.
Oh, I've done that to people on like Baron or Drake or something when they were soloing it. Oh my god. Yeah.
But Senna seems strong. I don't think busted.
I think she might still need some nerfs.
She might be a little strong, but I don't mean like she's not like I don't look at Senna and go, oh, that's
we
unfair.
Might be a little biased in the current meta at the moment for why not she is not seeming that strong in the bot lane. Just saying.
Why?
Because the other champion down there's a failure, and by comparison, she's a wet noodle.
Yeah, dude. The amount of shit I get away with on Aphelios is so dumb. But I mean, Senna seems really good, right? Like she is really good. Plus her ult, not just being a cross map execute, is also a cross map shield.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good. I've won
it's
some
like,
fights
oh,
with
my
that
top
shield.
laner's 1v1ing. Here's a shield and some damage.
Like, I don't even need to hit anything. Just anywhere in the general area.
It's like the whole, like a third to 2/3 of top lane.
It'll cover the entire lane basically.
The center part of it, yeah.
It won't cover like the tower controlled areas.
It's still nuts. Very fun champion to play.
People will like chuck that thing as the team fight is like happening in front of them.
It's not even that long of a cooldown.
What's happening? Why are we firing this thing as there's two people standing in front of you punching each other? Hang on, this seems dangerous. It's like fucking Jin ult. Whenever he pops his ultimate and someone's right in front of him, you just sort of like, guys, what? Hang on, he's dead.
So I gotta look up the cooldown.
Senna seems like a really good addition to the cast, if you will. I like her.
She fills an interesting niche.
Yeah, she fills a really interesting niche where she's a flexible marksman and support. It's kind of like what support MF was, but it's actually good.
Well, support MF was good.
No, it was a counter pick to Zyra.
That's what it was. Yeah, that's what I mean. It was good into Zyra, right? And, oh yeah, so like the ult on the cooldown is 160, 140, 120, which is kind of long, but like
for a cross map mass like 300-point shield at max rank.
It's 200 plus 40% AP for the shield, and at max level, that's max level. Max level damage is 500 plus 100% bonus AD plus 50% AP. By the way, 100% bonus AD on a champion that tends to build lethality items is fucking wild. But whatever.
good. I like Senna. She seems fun. All right, let's go to the less annoying. I'm sorry.
She is fun.
All right, let's go to
Aphelios.
No, Diana. We're going Diana first. Not ready yet. Not ready yet.
Too bad. We're talking about Aphelios because just like in the real game, you can't. It doesn't matter if you're ready. He's coming for you. You're gonna die. We're talking about Aphelios. I was worried when the Aphelios trailer came out, or like the how to play him video, and I was worried when that video of the Rioter being like it's a big brain AD carry came out, because as of many years as an AD carry, most AD carries have pretty small brains, and actually don't think about anything.
It's about this size.
That's too big. That's too big. That's too big.
Hang on.
I have a dime.
This about right?
No, I have a dime. I think
that'll work. That sounds about right. Yeah.
Maybe if you like cut it in half. But
and that's Tyler 1.
No, I'm not saying that. Tyler 1 is a person who plays League of Legends. I will say Aphelios is not actually as hard as I thought he was going to be. And I was worried when all those things came out because I thought it was going to be like an insanely high mechanical champion that every fucking solo queue player is going to grief on because they don't know what they're doing.
I think his numbers are hiding his complexity at the moment.
Oh, yeah. Like, you do actually have to be kind of good at him and, like, managing his Qs and his Ws, which W just shifts which weapon you're using, managing your ammo and stuff. There are some Q combos that are way better than others. Your Vamp Scepter Q, if you have your secondary on Flamethrower, every single hit shoots out a full crit full crit, so huge thing. So if you're in a team fight and you Vamp Scepter Q, you actually just chunk people, you clear waves really fast.
Just kite the tank slowly and everyone behind him dies.
You're your combo in Vamp Scepter Vamp Scepter Root.
Chakram. Your Vamp Scepter
crazy. That too. Vamp Scepter with the Root, Flamethrower with the Root, and Turret with the Root are all really good because you can apply your AoE Root. You can basically get like a 4-man Root, right? Like I've been in fights where I'm kiting and I'm getting chased and I have my Flamethrower and I Q, it applies the Graviton beam to all of them. I swap to the Graviton, I hit Q, and I just Root 3 people, right? That's wild as fuck. For one button, getting a 3-person Root, that's not short, right? It is, but it's first of all, it slows 30%, right?
Your auto attacks.
Innate, your autos on the Graviton. And then it roots for a second. So you can get a multiple. Your R with that is insane. Your R with the Flamethrower is insane, even though they nerfed it. Sorry, I'm talking over a lot on this one. I think played more of them.
Yeah, he's played a lot more of Aphelios than I have.
Yeah. As a marksman, occasional marksman. But it's super good. There are definitely some alts that I would rather not use. I almost never use the Chakram alt. I just don't. Because why would I get 3 additional Chakrams when I can do Infernum, which is an initial blast of 50, 100, or 150 plus 25 bonus AD, and attack splash in a 400 unit circle instead of a clone, dealing 75% of that damage. Enemies will take damage from overlapping areas, and up until very recently was 100% instead of 75. It's ridiculous.
That needs to be 25.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ! So many
you still pop people. Gravitum ult, enemies are slowed by 99% with decaying for 3.5 seconds. That's fucking insane.
Then you can root them.
Yeah, 99% slow into an AoE root with a 5-second cooldown. If that. Calibrum, which is the sniper, is fine. I really only use it when I'm sniping one individual person. Severum, which is the lifesteal, is pretty good because you heal for 200, 300, 400 based on level, which is stupid. So, it's I hit R and I get 400 HP, right?
A lot of the plays people are seeing are with Crescendum and the sniper rifle, and then something else that's comboing with it. Either normally the Scepter, Graviton, or what's it called?
The Flamethrower.
The Flamethrower,
Infernus.
So
Infernum.
like it's happened. Like a lot of his strongest moments are actually if he can put down one of his some of his turrets with Crescendum, then swap to 2 other weapons and get a lot more different effects out of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I made a crazy play today when I was getting dove. Doug and I were getting dove bot. I put down 2 crescendum turrets that were shooting gravitum, and I just rooted like 4. Like it's an AOE slow. It's a fucking Heimerdinger tower that slows and gives me the option
And does
to root
a
you.
full auto attack of his damage. By the way,
A full auto that I can then root you off of. It's so dumb.
So many things that are just so overpowered on him that need to be tuned down. I don't know why the turrets do a full auto with damage. I don't know why they
and like you can push really well.
Effects.
Like your split push is insane.
Like his wave clear on half of his items is crazy. His turret damage with Chakram or Baron take or Dragon take,
and then you also get
insane.
You also get rune on second item, so you do insane clear. But what I'm talking about isn't even that. I'm like, okay, like there are 3 people mid lane. The buy lane's not here. I have the Chakram. I'm gonna get 2 plates because I stand face first against the tower. Auto. Like you don't even need attack speed because the only thing that you do, but you don't. But like what matters is the distance the Chakram is traveling. So you're just like fucking standing right there, right next to the Drake, right next to the Baron, right next to the tower, and you eviscerate it. Like I will regularly get 2 to 3 plates off of a Chakram. It's insane. Super good.
Oh, so his sniper rifle will trigger globally. So
yeah.
If you were to put down a turret with Chakram with a sniper rifle and then run all like back to your base, and then someone walks over it after you've backed, you can hit them.
Yeah. Also, the sniper proc triggers a PTA stack.
Yes.
So you can auto Q, you can auto Q or auto Q auto. I forget which. I think Q might. I don't think
auto
it does.
Q auto should full stack.
No, because I don't think the Q automatically applies.
It gives you a free auto.
Then yeah,
you do a normal auto, you fire the Q, do the enhanced auto, and then you can do another auto, depending on your items though, because they might fall out of range. Set third auto.
What really matters is like if they're at if they have 2 stacks of PTA, you activate the Q, and you're doing 60, 85, 110, 135, 160 plus 60% bonus AD plus 100% AP to the first enemy hit with a bonus damage from PTA.
So many numbers.
So fine, let's say, okay, whatever. You're doing a lot of damage based on level, plus 60% bonus AD, plus 100% AP, but you don't really get that. And your PTA is increasing the damage they're taking from the sources, and it's fucking ridiculous.
So his sniper will trigger globally, and it will trigger Runeans globally.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll hit everything with Runeans. From global why? Oh my god. So many things that need to be nerfed on this champion, and they took, what was it, 25% off of his
25% off the Infernum ultimate.
That's it. That's all they did this patch.
And they changed, I think, his health, I think.
Yeah, they nerfed his health a little to make him a bit squishier, I think.
But you know what? Doesn't matter, right? Like, even if I die...
dead, you can't kill him.
Yeah, but also, like, even if I die, like, there were several times in the Aphelios game today where I was getting, like, chased, or the games the other day, chased, like, 1v3, and I just turn, and I get a double kill, and I go 2 for 1, right? Or I get a triple kill, right? Like, it's crazy. You do so much damage.
Alright. That's enough complaining about Aphelios being broken. Let's go on to Diana and Set.
Great, I have not played the new Diana at all. Please tell me about it. Where's Tony? Hey, Tony, get in here.
So what they basically did with Diana is they changed her ultimate and her E, and they swapped them. Now her ultimate has a moonfall thing that happens on top of it, kind of like, I don't know, it's just an AoE drop that happens after her E. It pulls you in. If it hits nothing, it doesn't proc and it goes on cooldown. But her E is basically the same still. They nerfed the damage a good bit because of course they did. Now it's the same-ish cooldown as far as I remember. But it's, now that she has access to it at level 3, it means her fighting is much better. And she's not gated to 6 to be able to duel people, really. Because before she was just a sitting duck until 6. I think her jungle is very strong now, and her mid lane is pretty competitive and pretty good against immobile mages. But against some pretty mobile champions, not quite as much. But I think she's still broken. She still has a lot of damage in her kit.
She seems to do an insane amount of damage in Snowball very easily, is what I've noticed. It feels, playing against it, like I am kind of just screwed if she gets a lead. Or if she gets a couple kills and a little bit of a farm lead, it feels like whether it's a support, a marksman, a jungler, like, oh, I just can't go near her because she's just gonna like QE army and I'm gonna be 100 to 0 and there's not really much of a counterplay there.
So, one of our friends plays a lot of Diana, and
that would be tennis.
He's basically been trying to figure out what to build on her since this happened, and he's still kind of trying to figure it out. They got rid of the Art and Center thing, so I don't even have to talk about that. But
just mentioned what it was because it makes me laugh.
But she could just go pure AP burst, like, what is it? Like, you could probably go Proto Belt into Rabadons into Void Staff and just try to burst people out. You could go a more bruisery with Roa into Morellonomicon. I think that's a little bit better of a build because it gives you a little more survivability. I don't know if her W has a health ratio in it, but I don't think it does.
I think it depends upon... You might not need the survivability every time.
I like having survivability, and having the mana conversion or the health to mana conversion in the Catalyst is just very helpful on a lot of AP bruisers. Lets you fight for longer. But I don't know, she just does so much damage now.
Yeah, her W shield has a 10% bonus HP.
Yeah, okay. So having
30% HP, 10% HP for the shield, and then the damage per orb is just AP.
So having that would be... having the extra health is definitely helpful for her. So I think the bruiser item change being missing is a pretty big problem for both her and Silas, where they kind of don't really know where they are right now. But going burst Diana with a snowball lead, you're basically going to run through 4 people every team fight easily. If you can get 2 or 3 people in your ultimate and nuke them out, then the team fight's over. So I think her Q cooldown is way too short. She can just E on you. So much damage. She gets attack speed bonus now on her passive whenever she uses an ability. So
yes, she does.
Crazy. She's another champion with too many numbers that probably just need to be tuned down. Otherwise, I think the way her kit is now, her ultimate feels like an ultimate, and her E feels like a basic ability. But just a little bit more off of it. I think Galio plays pretty okay into her if I don't let her get on me too long. But other than that, it's really... I really don't have any good picks into her that aren't non-combat staying away.
I see.
Alright. So, before we close out, we're going to touch on set real quick.
I want to add a sleeper topic after.
Oh, okay. So, set came out today as we record this.
A little late, as Anthony was mad to find out. Why can't I lock in my set, bro?
I played, I think, 3 games on him today. I didn't do amazing on him because I had to play into Rengar one of the games.
Oh yeah, that's why.
The second game I had to play into frickin' Lee Sin top lane, and I'm just like...
I also actually did not touch your lanes at any point.
Yeah, you avoided me a lot today.
Listen.
I didn't get ganked until Dion showed up, man. I don't know.
Listen, I camp you... I've got used to ganking mid. I didn't even really do that. I just inted. Anyway.
So, I feel like he's very good into tankier team comps, like tank comps and bruiser comps, because
you played 4 games of set. Continue.
Because he does a lot of health damage to the other champion. So, having that would be good, because especially on his ultimate, which is to ult somebody and do their bonus health as damage. Basically, I'm going to pick this man every time the other team has a Cho'Gath, because then I can take Cho'Gath and put him somewhere else.
The Ornn also seems good.
So, I've liked the games I played on him. I don't feel like he's particularly overpowered like anybody else.
No,
but
he doesn't seem it. I wonder how much of it is like.
I don't know what to build on him at the moment. That's the problem. So
Yeah, I was wondering what level of that he doesn't seem broken is like. You don't know what to build on him. Not you in particular, but like not sure what to build. Yeah. He seems like he'd be way better into tanks. You seemed to perform better when their enemy team had like an Ornn.
I did very good into the Ornn because I could just beat on him constantly.
So like he seems like he is much better in certain areas. You might have to learn how to build. Aphelios didn't seem broken to me the first day. It was only like day 2.
Him the first day, not or the
I know.
first couple of days.
I know, and like what I'm like, he didn't feel broken until both there's the combination of the buffs, and I learned what to build, and I learned how to use Aphelios' items. Set isn't like a multi-item like weird champion like that, but it might just be like I need you got to figure out the kinks in the.
I think we'll do a lot more deeper discussion on Set next week at the start.
Next week, we just need more practice.
I need to understand more about him, but basically what I've been building is Titanic Hydra into either Steris Gauge or Deadman's Plate, depending on what's happening. But that's as far as I've really gotten.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your sleeper topic?
Just like, are there any champions who you felt like after this last patch would be better, would be seen a little more in solo queue, you thought would be a little stronger, or just after like the general preseason changes, are there any champions you're like a little bit surprised aren't as good with the current items metas changes?
No, I don't. I want to see where Azir gets, but I feel like Azir is such a high skill pick that he's never gonna dominate.
He's not a solo queue
like a random game. Like he's gonna be.
He's like a soul. Like you see him in solo queue when all that dude plays is a solar.
It's not even that. Like, it's that he's a high skill champion played by like really good players, and if you're not really good at the game and at Azir, there's absolutely no reason to play Azir unless you're learning him. But that's really it. Like, oh, I guess Kallista's been getting buff after buff for quite a while.
Convenient time for me to swap positions, fellas.
he's leaving. The Nami
you
buff.
You gotta understand the motivations, Anthony.
The Nami
this
buff
isn't out of a love for jungle. It's out of a just hatred of Kindred.
The Nami buff. I'm expecting to see something happen, but I don't think that's gonna go under the radar too heavily. I think that'll become more relevant with AP bot laners than it will with AD bot laners.
Yeah, that's Syndra buff.
Sejuani, I'm a little shocked she didn't get a lot bigger of a bonus, but her late game win rate is pretty good looking at like the graph. But Shyvana, that's what I'm kind of looking for, like her coming up. Everyone else, I'm kind of
When you think about Vi?
Vi changes nothing.
Yeah, I agree.
It's fucking worthless. How many people were actually stunning her out of that ult?
A good amount. I mean, it was really rough into Vigard. But yeah, I don't know. I was just curious.
Topics.
There's only one thing left on the menu.
On the menu,
it's to ask you. It is to ask you if you want to take us on home.
I think I will. I forgot to do this at the beginning of the podcast again, but I'll do it here anyways. The podcast is moving to its own dedicated channel. If you want to catch us there, it'll be linked down in the description. It's called Legendary Podcast. If you type in that full thing into the YouTube search, it pops up. Catch the VODs there. We go live on Twitch every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's it. Have a nice day.
Have a good night.